Monday. It's Monday, right, Lily?
Something like that.
Okay. Hello,
I
hello.
apologize for this horrendous lighting. This is the best I got.
Well, sir, if you would have turned around towards the light, the little filmmaker in me is just telling you, you would have had more light on your face. But I digress. We will take what we can get, Mr. DeMarco.
Yes, light
Anyway,
should
let's
always
move
be in
forward.
front of you, never behind you. That's the number
Light
one
must
rule.
always be in front. Always. Okay.
Always in
A
front.
Take
guy,
it from
man.
the
Can we just go?
that's what I say. Take it from the models and the actresses. It's okay. It's okay. You
It's
are
okay.
here. We are glad to see you here. Would have been a lot more glad with better light, but I digress. I digress.
Not judging. Not judging.
Not
Just
judging at all.
observation.
Oh, this week is going to be lovely, isn't it? For everybody who's checking in, please hit that like and subscribe. These 4 people you are looking at on the panel will be at the same place at the same damn time under the same damn roof starting this Wednesday. So all the content we bring you, and it's going to be juicy, honey. It's going to be all of us together in the same home. So buckle up for that shit. Also, I'm going to post a picture in my community tab, and I want you guys to suggest what we should do, sans orgies, what we should do together, okay? So we will take suggestions, whether it's a game or somewhere you want us to visit in Vegas. We will take your suggestions. But wait till I put up the little suggestion box. Not yet, not yet. I'll put it in my community tab after we cam down from here. But seriously, we want to hear your suggestions of what you would like to see us do. We're going to be together for a week under the same roof. So please suggest what you would like to see us do or visit. Okay, if it doesn't involve KY Jelly, we are in there, bitch.
Right.
With that said, welcome to Monday's episode of On the Block with Jen. I am your favorite devil's advocate, Jen. You can reach me on all social media platforms. On the Block with Jen. Facebook, not so much. I don't really like Facebook, but Instagram and TikTok, and On the Block with Jen at Gmail for business. If you have an idea right off the rip, and you're not going to wait for me to put up my suggestion tab, by all means, throw it on the block with Jen at Gmail. We will take your suggestions for Vegas. Absolutely. Please give us suggestions. Tonight is going to be juicy. We got a lot of shit to catch up with. We missed Haran and Lily past couple days, but me and No Saint held it down. We even came up on a Sunday for you guys. On a
I love
Sunday we
it.
came up. So you can always count on us. Chat, hold us down. Glad to see you here as well. Hit that like and subscribe while I put this a stream on subscribers only, so you little creeps won't sneak in and talk shit and run away. Please, panel, introduce yourselves. Give the people one more time where they can reach you, because we may have new audience people.
And we're always looking for new audience and new friends. So if you are new here, I am Lily Washington of YB Limited. That is the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited. And it is the way it is spelled here on the screen. All right. You can find me here on YouTube as well as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I started my career as a makeup artist and then moved on to model and acting. And those roles led me here to the block with my team.
And I am Heron DeMarco, musician and music producer. You can catch me here on YouTube as Heron.DeMarco. Thank you, Natural Born winner. I was actually the person who created those instrumental pieces for the intro. And you can catch me on Instagram under Dangerous DeMarco, Threads under Dangerous DeMarco. And you can catch me as Heron DeMarco under Apple Music and Spotify.
Notice he didn't say lighting. He said musician, writer.
Haran is like, we let that go. Don't get Jen started. Don't get Jen started again.
No Saint. It too.
Yes. And Miss Ruth, I don't know if we did that on. I don't know if we talked about that on it or not, but I know we talked about Twister.
We did talk about Twister.
We did. I thought we agreed on it.
But was that behind the scenes? I can't remember.
I'm afraid Miss Ruth, I'm afraid someone's gonna fart in my face. But you know what? We'll pick up a Twister. We'll pick. We'll pick up a Twister. Because we got some games planned. So again, we would love your suggestions. We'll pick up a Twister. No Saint, where can they find you?
Yeah, so Saint No Saint on YouTube, Threads, and IG, and right here on the block with Jen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Good to see you guys. Okay, so I know I got some juicy stuff from my desk. I know you guys got some stuff from your desk. So let's run through them really quickly so we can get to the topic because I think this topic is very important. I'm starting to feel for our men's in the world. I think they're on info overload with all these dating coaches, and I think a lot of them are being just led the wrong way. Okay. So let's get to our desk. Let's entertain these people and then get the party started.
Okay.
Everyone, welcome.
Wow. Welcome, everyone. I got a couple of things, and one of them just got hit my desk as I was carrying up. I don't know if you all are aware of this, but Euphoria star, you know about that? Yeah, and Euphoria
Mm.
star Angus Cloud did at 25. TMZ reports that there was a 911 call, and it is a suspected OD.
Figured
So,
as much. My
yeah.
daughter's very upset about that. Like upset. She was like, "Ma, I need a minute," because she's a huge fan of the show.
Mm.
She happened to be a huge fan of that character. So I was like, "Take your minute. I'm here. Mama's here." So yeah,
So yeah,
sad.
and then he kind of played a drug dealer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know because there's so many different streaming apps that it's hard to. I had no idea what Euphoria was. I had to look up, who he was. But yeah, that's sad. That's definitely sad. It didn't hit me like PeeWee Herman, but it.
Too
All
soon,
right.
That
no
hits you.
saint.
That,
Too
that
too
brother
soon.
said.
All
Too,
right, PeeWee.
too soon. Too soon. No saint. Too soon.
You're right. It's only 3 hours. No, it's
Right.
just 3 hours.
So yeah, so this young man unfortunately was suffering with mental health issues. They said his father died about a month ago and he had not recovered from grieving and mourning for his dad. So if his dad was his whole world and he was already suffering from mental illness issues, he was probably like, I'm done. I'm out. And we talked about this before. Some people are just like, I don't like it here. I'm out. Bye.
That's funny you say that because I think a year and a half, maybe it's coming up on 2 years. My uncle died, and then his son died a week later from an overdose. Now I wasn't, I remember him. I wasn't close with my cousins, as far as that goes, but I do remember him as a baby because he was about 30 something years old. But it's fun, he evidently had a drug issue anyway, but then once he lost his father, went into like the relapse or whatever, so yeah, that happens. That kind of stuff happens for sure.
Yeah, we're losing a lot of people to that, that meth, that cocaine, and that fentanyl. It really is sad, as what's his name, son, football player. I don't know football.
Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis. His son recently, like these overdoses are happening more and more often, but I know somebody would argue, these overdoses have always been happening like this. We just got the internet now. I don't know. Life is different now. I keep saying it over and over again. Social media has created a whole different human being, from how people are doing drugs to their sexuality to, that race and relationships. Social media is really putting a huge, huge spin on humanity in general. Like I said before, I'm seeing people grieve overnight. Something that would have destroyed you. Someone losing a child or a mother would destroy you for months and months and months. And these people are right back, the next day on social media with the little prayer hands and the crying emojis, like, I'm good, life goes on. Whoa, the grieving time now is absolutely astonishing. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because grieving and mourning is really bad on your soul and your spirit, on your person. So I don't know if this is desensitizing us to be a better human or desensitizing us to be a worse human, which is another topic all within itself. But yeah.
It is. We need to explore that. We really do need to explore that.
I don't think a lot of people are very, well, in my experience, I don't think a lot of people are as resilient these days as I remember them to be back in the day. I think a lot of people are very fragile, very easy to break.
That's very true, though. They're sensitive. They're very sensitive.
Is it on both sides? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I think that's gonna more transition into her next piece of
Human
fluff. Yeah, but I want to say that I'm sure social media has some to do. I think a lot of the reason we're seeing a lot more, because I do believe it's not just social media. I think that the drugs that they have now, the fentanyl, it's a lot easier to overdose on. And so I think that's another part of it. When someone says, oh, it used to happen before, not like it is today, because the drugs are so much more powerful, so much more addictive than it was 15 years ago, So, yeah,
Definitely
pretty scary
15 years
stuff.
ago.
I mean,
Because
these people are being taken out with one hit. They're
With
being
Yeah.
taken
respect,
out.
those cops are overdosing, handling, and don't even know. And it just a small little bit gets on them, and then they have to give them the Narcan to bring them back.
You gotta be
Right.
careful.
And it's to the point here in New York, they're pretty much giving you Narcan. They're giving
Mm-hmm.
Joe Schmo, regular person. You know this, no saying being a fireman. They're giving regular Joe Schmo, people like us, Narcan to carry around. I can't tell you how many overdoses I see regularly just as I'm walking down the street. This has become a regular thing to see someone foaming at the mouth, going through convulsions. It's literally a regular thing, especially when I'm downtown. It's gotten to the point now, it's just literally I'm walking, call 911. And what made me get to this point is there's a few times towards the beginning of me seeing this, I would stay and wait for the fire or paramedics to get there. And then they'll get there like, oh, it's John again. Oh, it's him again. Oh, this is the third time we've got to him today. And it's just like, oh, okay, so this is the norm. So now I just keep walking as I'm dialing 911. Yeah, the corner of 8th Ave and 42nd, and just keep it moving. It's sad. That's just where we're at. And yes, it's a lot more potent. I always say I'm so glad that I don't do drugs now, because the fentanyl started to hit the streets right before I quit. And people were going out then. So I can only imagine what it's like now. It's just really, really easy to accidentally overdose.
Really quickly, commercial break. I want to say, if you want to support the show and the entire adventure that we got coming on Wednesday, hit me Cash App on the block with Jen if you're catching a replay. I appreciate you. That is where you can be discreet with your cash. If you don't care, hit me in the super chat and we will pull up your comments and dissect them. You're also welcome to come up on the panel and discuss any of these topics that we're talking about. Just don't be a bitch and go cry in the car if it doesn't work out for you. Okay. Hi, Sherelle. Hey, Mom. I haven't seen you in such a long time. Good to see you. Hope all is well with business and love and life. How are you, doll? Yeah, so I wanted to get back to something really quickly that Haran said. He said, people are more sensitive than ever. But are we seeing stark differences in both sides of the spectrum, where people are completely desensitized and other people are completely mush at the same damn time?
Yeah, we need to really go through this as a show, because I'm going through so many thoughts as I'm trying to break this down. It's like 1 second I'll think one way, and then the other second I'm like, well, because this is the thing, right? Are they really sensitive, or are they just pretending to be outraged because everyone else is outraged about certain things?
Well, women have always been crazy, but
No,
men,
we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Statistically, y'all are nuts.
The men, there's more men now who I've seen and been around for a couple of minutes who are just very in touch with their feelings, and they want to talk it out, and they want to just. It's just very weird for me. I just don't come from that world. You know what I mean? Men, go in the corner, you drink, you brew, you come back, and that's it.
And then you wipe out the entire family or delete yourself. Okay, statistically,
you always got to go somewhere else with this. I think about that. Okay.
I want to fight early in this stream. By the way, rest in peace to Paul Rubens, aka PeeWee Herman. A lot of us grew up with him, and PeeWee Herman was everything till we found out he was beaten off in dirty theater, and then we were like,
He was still my homie. Right? He was still my homie.
Now, right? Like, PeeWee Herman was beating his shit, and then we just scroll past it. That'd be so tame.
No, yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. That's until we realize everybody does that. he was just in a dirty movie theater. If he was at home with porn, nobody would have caught him.
There was, you know what? I feel sorry. Like I truly feel sorry for all those people back in the day, and not even that long ago, maybe 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, that got caught doing things that now would be like, you know what I mean? Like George Michael. What was he? He was in a
Yeah.
glory hole. He was putting his dick in a glory hole.
Yes.
Oh my
Milli
God.
Milli
Listen,
Vanilli, not really singing. Like,
that George Michael, that video, I think it was only released in England or whatever, and it was a takeoff of him getting caught in that bath. It's a whole video with the freaking stalls, and then the lights are going everywhere. It was funny. It was funny stuff.
like the stuff that was scandalous back then.
I was about to say, because that's so typical.
Paul Rubin, another New Yorker. I mean,
yeah,
he was 35 miles, I think, north of New York City.
But I think they're keeping Pee-wee Herman very much alive. Because let me tell you, every kid I saw dressed for prom was dressed like fucking Pee-wee Herman. I'm sorry.
Right.
Those suits look exactly like Pee-wee Herman's outfit.
Yeah.
That special in the early 80s that went on HBO, that was a staple, man. I guess that was his kind of coming out party to the world. It was that HBO special, the Pee-wee Herman show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys remember it?
I remember.
I
don't remember it. I just remember being a big Pee-wee Herman fan.
After that scandal, though, he was on air for like maybe a season.
Mm-hmm.
Then they just axed him, and then he just went into hiding.
Yeah, now he'd go viral, and everybody would go running to hit follow on his shit.
Well, he had that good role in the movie Blow with Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
so that he could actually act.
Yeah, we found out exactly. He was a really good actor.
Yes. Before we move on, we must update on Cardi B. Okay, our favorite ratchet Bronx girl, not me, Cardi. Oh man, my dad used to do this to scratch his back. Hold on. Okay, so Cardi B. Okay, as you guys know, matter of fact, the video that went viral that you saw of her throwing the microphone was her second time throwing a microphone while she was out here in Vegas. On Friday night, she was pissed off that the DJ that was running her track kept cutting the music short, Lily. And when she finished her set, she turned around and hurled the microphone towards him the same exact way she hurled the microphone on Saturday to the woman that threw the water at her. So apparently Cardi B was out in Vegas throwing mics all weekend long. Okay. Saturday, the video you guys all saw was she had on the orange outfit. Sucks for her because now the woman went to the Las Vegas PD and filed a battery complaint. So like we said yesterday, a lawsuit is a-coming. Otherwise, that girl wouldn't have took her ass to the precinct. Okay.
Right.
I went to her Instagram page and her TikTok page. And of course, her follower count is blowing up. There's like 1 million. If I'm not mistaken, was it 1 million? Let me see really quickly. On her, a crazy amount. Yes, I agree. Fuck out of here.
I just want to say something. It's just like, just wow, man. Like all you got to do is get hit in the head with a microphone by a goddamn celebrity, and everybody gives a shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just incredible, man.
That's how really disgusting like humans have gotten. Yeah, so the girl's name on TikTok is Paxi Baby. That's the one that actually got hit with the microphone. She's not the one that threw the water, but she's the one that actually got hit with a microphone.
Wasn't it a guy who threw the water? I thought it was a guy who threw the water.
No, it was a girl. She was a cute girl, too. She was a cute girl. Paxi Baby is the one that actually got hit with the microphone. She was like at something like 8,000 followers on TikTok. Now she's up to 13,000 and growing. As this case grows, I'm sure her follower count will grow because people are nosy. They're bored. There's like exciting for them on social media because social media is redundant. Anyway, so Little Miss Paxi Baby, who claims she's a money girl. She's always getting her money. She's one of them characters on TikTok. A white girl, she went down and did the battery complaint. So I'm sure a lawsuit is coming. And people are going crazy in her comments. Like Cardi B fans are like, oh, if you sue Cardi, you a bum, you a punk. And then, but the resounding response on her TikTok is sue that bitch. Get your money. Get your bag. So that's that's overtaking any Cardi fans. Everybody's telling this woman, sue.
You think I want to ride my ass down there?
Right. So I guess that's why she went down to the to the PD and said, ow. And she even posted, I sent some of you the picture. She even posted, I'm bruised and sore on her TikTok. So
I
she's
would be too.
bruised and sore. So I'm seeing future lawsuit, future settlement. Cardi B would be stupid. I mean, this is the cost. This is the cost. You gotta pay to play, right? If you wanna act the monkey ass fool on stage, she's gotta pay. So I see her settling. I'm sure the injuries weren't that bad, but it's probably enough to have left a mark. It hit her on her shoulder, according to her. Said it hit her on her shoulder. So she'll probably have to settle, give her, a couple $100,000 maybe out of court or whatever. And then life will go on.
It'd be some
Until
wicked ass venomous irony if she sued her for $4 million.
I was
It
just about
would
to say,
though.
I was just about to say that to go tell her to go get it from Tasha. If she wins, just say get the money from Tasha.
Right.
She
That
got
would
Just
it.
give it
be
from her
some
if I
fucking
get it.
irony.
Right.
Also, there were several videos because I loves me some evidence, so I like waiting for the evidence. So now several videos have also gone viral with Cardi B asking the crowd to throw water at her. She even says, put it in my pussy, right? Don't throw it at my face, put it in my. And she bends over and she was asking everyone to throw water at her, to even throw water at a pussy.
Nasty lady.
So it doesn't make
Such a
sense.
lady, yeah.
Right? It doesn't make sense that, this girl was probably like, okay, let me throw some water too. And then she's retaliating by throwing a microphone. So either she was high, stupid, dumb, or both. I don't know. But this whole thing was just like things that would happen when you're dealing with this type of artist, right? And I use the word loosely, but this is what happens. She's a liability, obviously, because not only is she going to ask people to do stupid shit, she's going to retaliate with stupid shit. So she's a liability. So settle out of court, let that girl get her money, and life goes on. The one who has been quiet, who we haven't heard from, is the girl that actually threw the water. So I'm waiting for her to pop up. But yeah, she's going to get sued, and that's that.
See, these are the things that you got to think about when you become a public figure and people know that you got a coin. You have to be extra careful to be able to keep your composure, because people are gonna try your ass. They're gonna try you just on the account. Like, you have to be extra vigilant. I mean, but
They know you got money, they want that money, and people will bait you. And I've noticed something about Cardi B. Every year since she's been, it's not Bronx slander. I'm from the Bronx, baby. Okay, so I'm talking about my own damn people.
no. It's somebody in the comment. I caught it that
Oh,
has some Bronx
Marco
slander.
says Cardi is
Mhm.
disgusting, typical New Yorker from the Bronx. Well, suck my dick then, bitch.
It's a classy
I'm
lady.
Such a
so
class,
classy.
so classy. I
Hey,
love
look, I
it.
drink with my pinky up. All right, I'm very fucking classy.
Reminds me of my grandma.
I'm just kidding. Just jokes, y'all. Just jokes. Everybody calm down. Stand down. Stand down. Yeah, so that's the thing on Cardi. So when I saw the video, I'm like, put it in my pussy. I'm like, water?
Mm-hmm.
Water? Like, I'm not gonna try to understand these stripper rappers. It's a whole new game, and I don't have to get it. I don't have to buy it either. So good luck to her. So anything else from anyone's desk before we get into the nitty gritty?
Well, this next story I feel like is going to tie into our main topic very well.
Okay.
All right, so you guys, I have a question. I'm going to give you all some info. I'm going to ask you all, because we're talking about like men are becoming more feminized, and they seem to be lazy. They don't seem to know how to talk to women well. A lot of different things. Like Haran just said, these are not the guys that he's used to, the crying and the sensitivity and things like that. So basically what is going on, and there's been a lot of studies that say that men, their testosterone has dropped 50% since 1970. Yeah, since 1970.
50.
Yes, I just had to. Yep, I had to look that up. It's been dropping 1% a year since the 70s, which is now 50% lower.
Well,
Okay,
Jen,
they're
that
saying
means you were right. These men out here are literally half the man that your dad was.
they are. So it's not like we're making this up. We're literally not making, because I mean, I had to look into this because you start to get to a place where you start to think like, am I crazy? Am I making this up in my head?
Yeah.
Like, so then looking it up, no, we're not making this up. So then the next question is like, okay, You know, are we being too hard on the guys, or is that? But and there is something that they can do about it. But let me just kind of give you what's going on, right? And they're also saying that by 2045, if nothing is done about this phenomenon, their sperm count will be down to zero, right?
Mm,
And these for the people who don't get into the solution.
mm,
Now, it looks like there's a lot of different environmental factors that are playing into this. Please forgive me, my voice was gone all day yesterday too.
mm,
Okay, so what's going on is this: it's causing them to have obesity, low confidence, low sperm count, difficulty building muscle mass, depression, lack of motivation, and low sex drive. They're actually also weaker, slower, and less intelligent than our fathers.
mm.
Okay. Yes. It
Who'd
is
have thunk it? I haven't seen
who
evidence of that anywhere.
right. So it's not us making this up. It's not us making this up. Now, some of the culprits of this is lots, we call them soy boys. So there's lots of soy to go around, right? There's soy in just about every damn thing, right? We're pretty
Hmm.
much breathing soy at this point.
Hmm.
um Tap water. Okay, there is a lot of estrogen in tap water due to birth control, because you know when women take birth control, they have to pee. It gets flushed down the toilet. You know, the packets get thrown in the trash, get flushed down the toilet. And so because our water purification system, it hasn't been updated in forever, they don't know how to filter these medicines out. So we have a lot of different fun pharmaceuticals floating around in our water. Okay, so that's another thing. Also, mold estrogen.
Hmm.
You're wondering where this mold estrogen is coming from. It's coming from a lot of different places, right? But this mold estrogen is something that they actually use to pump up the animals,
Yeah.
so that they're, yeah. So that's where that's found at. Also, APEs, which is synthetic estrogen, is found in body wash and cosmetics and things like that. What's also going on because of the water, it's actually affecting the fish, the frogs. Now they're finding eggs inside of the frogs and the fish testicles.
The frogs are gay?
The frogs are gay. Remember when Alex Jones was screaming like they're turning the frogs gay? Well, he was actually onto something this particular time. The frogs are actually gay. They're actually reproducing differently. It's changing the way like everything is done, and it also gets passed down to the next generation. So now what's going on is like the ones who are already born normal are changing somewhere throughout their lifetime, and then it's passed down through the DNA, so that the newer ones are being born asexual, or yeah, is it asexual?
So all the man bitches that we deal with are gonna produce more man bitches.
That is the bottom line, you all. That is the bottom line. The
Okay.
bottom line is that they're going to produce more unless there's a solution. I don't want to bring you the problem without the solution,
Do tell.
but I doubt they're going to do this. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and give it to you anyway.
Okay.
The biggest thing is going to be, of course, eating right and exercising. Um, yeah, I don't have much hope, but that is a solution. Is to eat more organic foods, because a lot of the pesticides that's in the regular foods is da 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 da. Mm,
Hmm.
okay,
Lily,
exercising.
can you cite your source, please?
Oh God, there's a lot of different sources. This actually, what where I got a lot of this information from was Jake Tran. He's a YouTuber, and then he cites a lot of his sources. He cites all of his sources on his page. So if you go to his page, I think it's like the last video that's up. So you can go and watch the full video, and then he also cites where his sources come from as
And
well.
his name is Jake Tran.
Tran, Tran,
Okay, Jake
Jake
Tran.
Tran.
Check that out, fellas, because this now we're talking about science, right? And you guys love you some science. So it's not just me calling you bitch ass niggas and man bitches and soy boys. Like it's not me. Like I can insult you all day. So I'm not a scientist though. Like I'm just going by what I see, some of the actions that I see. And again, if this just triggered you at all the three words that I just said, the three insults, then you're probably one of the soy boys, right? Because a
Hmm.
regular old man is gonna be like, what the fuck is she talking about? Right. So if you were just affected or triggered by what I said, then you are who I'm talking to, right? You're a soy boy. And if you're not, then you're not, right? Put it in a bubble and blow it away. But now this is scientific. This is not just women insulting men. This is scientific. You have 50% of the testosterone that you used to have. Now, George Cook said that the doctor said that was normal. I'd like George to elaborate because I don't understand how that's normal.
I will tell you what he means versus what. So what he means is it's normal for your testosterone to drop after a certain age, just like it's normal for women. We
all know that.
But the biggest ones that are being affected by what we're talking about today is teens and young adults. That is not normal. Okay. Now the biggest thing that they can do is hormone replacement therapy. That is going to be the biggest and best. Yeah, at this point, it's gotten that drastic that if they. But then I have to look into this. Haran, you might be able to tell me about this. Does that affect the way, like if they get on a hormone replacement therapy, does that affect them having children down? Because there was something, a part in the video that confused me. I didn't know if it helped or hurt.
You don't necessarily have to get on synthetic testosterone. You can get on something called enclomiphene. That's one thing that would be better suited for, I would say, TRT. The funny thing about TRT is that they call it TRT, but it's pretty much dosage based. You know what I mean? That can easily turn into a fucking cycle. Like they said, Jeff Bezos is on TRT. No, he's not. He's got veins coming out of his fucking shoulder. He's on a steroid cycle. You know what I mean? So, if you want to maintain a healthy amount of testosterone for your age, yes, there are avenues you could take. You could take Tonkat Ali. That's a natural form. You could take Tribulus. That's a natural form. You can eat fucking eggs. Okay, you can lift something fucking heavy. You can stop ducking out on your friends if people want to move furniture, move something. You can actually be a guy. You know what I mean? You can, if you have to be, if you know how to fix your lighting without women telling you, then that's a clear example that you'll know a lot more as a man than you should. You know what I mean? Like
if you use filters on your pictures.
So then just like go outside.
Yes.
Go outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for God's sakes, wash your ass.
Yes, wash your ass. Stop worrying so much about somebody wiping your ass at 80 and wipe your ass right now. Clean your ass now.
Actually, and another thing too is that these issues that a lot of you guys say that you have with women, when you take care of your testosterone, it's gonna show. Your body mass is gonna, be a particular way, and women smell it on you. You know what I mean? Like they can tell this is a man. They'll sense it on you. You know what I mean? You guys have estrogen problems, and this is why you got childbearing hips. You know what I mean? Some of you motherfuckers literally have childbearing fucking hips.
Dead ass.
You know what I mean?
I've been seeing a lot of that lately.
Weird to look at, man.
So let's acknowledge this super chat. Thank you so much. This might be risky for the super chat. This might be risky asks a great question. Interesting. How would this explain the caliber of athlete of today being bigger, stronger, and faster than the ones of yesteryear?
When I was seeing the video and they were showing athletes of yesteryear, and I was thinking the same thing this guy said, but then a lot of these guys that are doing it today, the training's better today. They're doing it all year long. Though they know how to work, it's like before, back in the 60s or 50s or 60s, it was like a part-time job. Now it's a full-time job. You're working out, you're doing everything you can to maintain your body every day of the week. But I mean, it's a good point because those guys certainly are, the athletes are bigger, stronger, and faster today.
And they have access to, the type of medications, the type of things, and the type of, medical attention to make sure that their body is in tip-top condition.
Yeah. It's their body is their business, and the organization is going to give you everything you need to make sure. Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I want to say thank you everyone who just came in the room. Please hit that like and subscribe. Welcome. Glad you were here. Don't forget you can participate. You could come up on the panel. I will drop the link if you want to come up and retort, contradict anything that we're saying, or you have more information than we do. We would love to hear from you. You just have to cam up. We don't argue with avatars up here. Also, don't forget, starting this Wednesday, On the Block with Jen will be together at the same place at the same time. We are getting together under the same roof, and we're bringing you lots of juicy content while we live together for a week, okay? So hopefully we'll survive that. But it starts this Wednesday. We will bring you content of us together in the same home. Now, I'm really, really excited about that. And if you have any suggestions for us, whether it's a place to visit in Vegas or a game you want to see us play or an activity you want to see us do, please, On the Block with Jen at Gmail. We will take your suggestions and we will say who gave us the suggestion and we will do it. Miss Ruth already says she wants to see us play Twister. So we're going to have to get a Twister game. So please hit that like and subscribe for me. And thank you for being here. Going back to this question, the funny thing I did see, like, yes, the athletes are bigger, stronger, faster, but scientifically, they're just working with them better. They're creating better humans, right, to play these games. However, you know, a lot of the kids I saw going to prom, the boys were all petite. It was very rare that I saw a boy that looked like a 16-year-old or an 18-year-old from when I was back 16 and 18. Most of those kids looked like, at the very least, they had the build and height of men. The more prom pictures I saw on social media, I did notice the boys were very petite. Yes. And the girls were either, you know, heavier than them or taller than them. And the guys were all in that little PeeWee Herman prom suit. But the boys are very, very petite nowadays. So that's interesting.
Okay,
thank you for the...
I'm noticing...
Thank you. Hold on, because he followed up. Thank you for the super chat. Again, this might be risky, says, but that speaks to the science of it now, no?
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys covered that.
Go ahead, Lily. I just want to know.
Well, I was just going to say, like, when I'm out, I see one or two things a lot. And Orlando and I comment on it a lot. We see one or two things with the young guys. Either they're really petite and have very feminine bodies, or they're overweight, but the fat is not distributed like a normal fat for a male. It's distributed like a woman. Like, you know, there's a difference between man boobs and woman's boobs. And a lot of the overweight males, the young ones, they look like women's breasts. They look like women's hips. They look softer, like the shoulders look softer. Like it's so, like, for being outside every day, it's so prevalent now. That's what made me like, something is clearly going on scientifically. Like, this is beyond my opinion at this point. These young men are looking very feminine, whether they're really small or whether they're big. So,
well, again, this is peacetime. You know, Jen, you know, everybody on the panel, let's be real with each other. When we were younger, you know, the ghetto was a very violent fucking area. You know what I mean? There was a lot more violence. There was a lot more intensity. There was a lot more, I mean, there was just a lot more, you know, kids doing slap boxing in the street, you know what I mean, doing pull-ups in you know what I mean, in the park and things of that nature, just doing things and living life dangerously. These kids are on the fucking, you know, they're playing video games, they're arguing online, and they're eating fucking junk food. They're not doing anything. It's like people always continuously ask, why do these guys go to jail and get fucking jacked? Well, they're literally in an environment where they have to, where their lives are on the line damn near every fucking second, and they're working out every fucking second. Right. So of course their bodies are going to, you know, respond to that kind of pressure. Men need pressure. These guys have no pressure. This is the reason why I talk to men now the way that I do now. You have no fucking pressure put on you. And you cry and you bicker and you be like, you don't be talking to me like that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, look, and you remember, Jen, when I sent you that link where no, I don't think I sent it to you. I sent it to my boy, where a drill sergeant was being reprimanded for basically being hard on the cadets. You know what I mean? They wanted them to speak soft.
No, but they're going to take yelling out of the Marines, right? Am I right? Was that a rumor, No Saint?
That has been a rumor since I was in the military.
Don't scare me.
They used to have a thing saying, and the whole thing about the Air Force was when we'd go to see, like, we'd be mixing it up with the other armed forces guys. Oh, in the Air Force, when you're getting yelled at, you can hold out a timeout card, right? And we're like, no. And that was always the rumors. We had a timeout card we could give to the thing, and the guy would have to stop yelling at us or whatever.
Well,
that's not true.
My brother was in the Army, and he vouches that the Air Force bases are like country clubs.
Well, they are better
bases.
bases. There's the living quarters is better for sure.
Yeah.
That's a fact. They have better facilities, and it's not as hard as, say, Army or Marine boot camp, or it's not as hard for sure. But there's no such thing as a timeout, and that's why I'm saying with Jen saying no, they're not going to stop yelling at the Marines.
Okay,
that's all.
I can say something about the testosterone thing, because I'm on it, and I can tell you right now what I was talking about with the doctors is that the study that Lily cited. I've got other studies that show that 40, 50 years ago, the testosterone for men my age was higher than it is today. And so what I'm talking about when the docs say that's normal, they say that even though the level, the baseline has come down and down and down, they keep saying that's normal. And I keep arguing like fuck with them and saying, this is bullshit. I said, because I said, you've got a range from 250 to 1,000. And they don't want to push you to 1,000 because that's unsafe. But I'm like, but if 1,000 is the top end of normal, how come you can't be at 1,000? And so there's a lot of bullshit going on in medicine. They're basically, because the whole thing with steroids, every fucking doctor is so gun shy to give you the juice you need. But Haran, you know this as well as I do. If dudes are under 25, you have no fucking business touching testosterone. No. You're not finished growing yet. And so, but anyhow, I can tell you this, Jen, when you talked about your libido and all that, I got up to like 1,600, 1,700 one time on the level. And man, I was like, trust me, had no problem raising the flag, had no problem, blast off. I mean, everything was all on, but I did notice this. I was a little too edgy. You know how you can tell someone's having too much coffee? It's like I was like in my 50s, right? And I'm like, I feel like I'm 16 again. And I was like, any little thing, like somebody look at me the wrong way, I was ready to fucking go. I was like, all right, we got to dial this down because I'm going to get my ass beat, before long. So, but anyhow, my point is that men, especially my age, you're in your 40s, 50s, get it checked. Get with a doctor and you're going to have to dig for a urologist or an endocrinologist or somebody that will treat you properly instead of just try to keep you within the numbers. Right. So, okay. I got
a YouTube press. I do.
Okay. Well, I do it nighttime.
I do. Like I was literally at the diner the other day and I have my grits.
Yeah, that's me at nighttime. I like breakfast at night. I don't like it.
I was gonna say to what Lily's article was saying. I mean, as far as you're right, the fish they're loaded with caffeine now. If you think you don't have some sort of antidepressant in your system, there's so much of that in the water now and in the fish and everything. And I don't think that maybe they didn't, like when pharmaceuticals were first being experimented with, I don't know if they thought about that ramification, that how it's going to affect people. But I'm just saying, like, now it's more than ever. I mean, and you kind of wonder, like, is that why more and more people need certain things? Because we've already been exposed to it, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting.
Well, to
George had to run, so he says good night.
Yeah, that's true too, but it's going to take that what Tristan is saying, but they're saying it's going to be a long time. But yeah, it is going away. The Y chromosome.
Yeah, they were talking about that because in the frogs and fish is going away, right?
And it may be it may be that one day you just who knows? I'm just throwing it out there, but that we are just one sex that will be able to reproduce. Like
I feel like that's what they're trying to do.
Well, I don't know if they're trying. I'm just saying because naturally the Y chromosome is breaking down. I've read the article on it. So they're saying that eventually, and it's happened to other species, and I don't want to misquote, but basically nothing really changed. It was kind of strange. I don't want to. I hate to go into this because I don't have it in front of me and I can't. But I did read like basically other species have gone through where they lose the Y chromosome and it's still able to function. I don't know.
Folks, women are going to be stuck with each other. That's a cruel
That's why they're
iron.
bisexual a lot.
Cruel iron.
What do you mean? But wait. See, Haran want to fight that. What do you mean women are going to be stuck with each other? We'd rather be with each other. We're filing for divorce at 80%. Okay, women are living with their mothers women are living with their mothers and their cats. Women have no issue being stuck with each other. It is men who are having issue with not having sex. It is men who have an issue with women not submitting.
Males.
It is men who are having the issues. Okay,
so
tomato.
So if you get to an age where you don't have the urge to have sex, that shouldn't be a problem. That should work out. You having trouble? Well, just wait a little while if you want.
Mm-hmm. On my Vegatron said women fight like those hairless cats, Pat, and they still rather each other's company. Like, yeah, listen, y'all are sleeping on women. Y'all are sleeping on women. You think, but it's a great segue for our topic this evening. Okay. Our topic this evening is the rise of dating coaches really beneficial for men? Are men becoming better men with this slew of dating coaches, pulling them every which way, telling them the nature of a woman? Hence, I could not resist but do this thumbnail. The dating coach WWE. Okay, and what do we hear parroted? Masculine for the streets. Her body count. She can't pair bond. She's a whore. Right? These are the things that are being parroted to men who are already single, bitter, and sexless. So is the rise of this dating coach phenomenon, is it helping men in the long run, or is it putting a bigger wedge between men and women? Because let me tell you something, a man with this mentality going out in the world, a woman is going to tell him to fuck off. That's what's going to happen. She's not going to feel closer to him. She's not going to feel more intrigued. She's going to say, fuck off, you disgruntled, bitter bitch. Fuck off. That's what's going to happen. So are men getting better or worse behind this? Are men going to be stuck with each other? Because let me tell you, I've seen some of these podcasts and they look mighty cozy with each other.
There's already clips I've seen where guys are like, yeah, it's okay to kiss your friend.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What?
And these are coming like from straight guys. Like it's not like and they're like it's not a gay thing. But it's totally okay to kiss your friend.
He's not lying. And there's another thing me and Orlando have been seeing a rise of. A lot of the homoerotic where they're not gay, but they don't like women so much that they find a way to be with each other some way, somehow. Like there's no penetration, but they do things to relieve each other.
So what?
Yes.
They beat each other off, but they're not homosexual.
Right. They won't do
docking.
If you have a glove on, it's not
called what?
Yeah, he's oven mitts, it's all right.
Jesus Christ. You know what though? Like I said, Jen, I told you this months ago. I said this to you. Right. No group of heterosexual men are gonna be in a room with each other, just throwing tomatoes at women and hugging each other, and I'm here for you, bro. Let it out. No.
Like they would probably say, hey, it's not gay if you're holding each other's fleshlight.
Jesus Christ.
No, seriously, it's stuff like that. Like he's not making it like
it's somewhat detached.
But it's like literally a big rise of that, like due to these men, their hate for women. It's ridiculous. Or their inability to get women. They're more comfortable around their bros and their homies and all of that stuff.
Well, and then on top of it, there's the layer of opening up to one another, feeling each other's pain. Here, come give me a hug, and then next thing you know, they're tonguing each other.
See, that's what I'm talking about, Justin. Feeling pain, giving hugs, Well,
look, here's the thing. I'll say this. Yes, I would rather see men under the umbrella of what people deem toxic masculinity than what's going on today.
Hell
Sorry.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Any
hell
day.
yeah.
Sorry.
Any
Sorry.
day.
I don't care what anyone says.
All right.
Jen's like, bring back the misogyny.
Oh God.
Bring back the
And yes,
misogyny.
please,
Bring back the
please.
toxic
Hugs
masculinity.
are
Please.
good for you.
Because I
Yes,
I
yes.
promise I can deal with that. I really can, because I'm
I
like,
can
men are
too.
men.
I
I
mean,
can deal
yeah.
with that better
I
than what
bet she'll
I'm
just hang up the
seeing.
phone on us.
Than what I'm seeing. Like people coming, we've had some come up here crying like, "Oh, why are you talking to me like that?" Like, I'd rather have the toxic dude just do your man shit. But it's out of control.
I
The
can't do
stuff that
bitchy
I
men.
see.
I can't do bitchy men. Like it's literally my Achilles heel. Like unless you're gay or transitioning, like if you identify as heterosexual and you're bitchy, like I can't do it. Like just the whining and the like I can't do it.
I'd argue that all whining is annoying, no matter who it comes from.
It's just super
That's true.
annoying.
I mean, like
That's true.
unless your age is in the single digits, you
Right.
shouldn't be whining.
I still say hugs are good for you. There's nothing wrong with hugs.
Yeah, except when
But
you're
the
like
homies
rubbing
is
your
giving out
5
hugs.
o'clock shadow against each other for too long.
Hugs are good for you.
Okay, so with that said, with no saying hugs are good for you, we have some masculinity on the panel, I'd like to say. So where do you guys draw the line? Like when are you too hardcore? Do you have to be in touch with your sensitive side at all ever? Like, because the pendulum has swung to the other side and broken off and rolled down the hill. There's no wood left to make another one. It's horrible. No wood, pun intended. There's no wood
There's no
left to make
wood left.
another one. So it's like, when do you guys, if ever, show a soft side? I remember my dad, maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 times in my entire life showing a soft side, and even that was rigid. Like, I was in the hospital one time. My father hates hospitals and cemeteries. He thinks they're a waste of time. He thinks if you're meant to die, go fucking die. That's my dad. That is my dad. Okay. He's like, cemeteries are fucking, they're waste of land. You could be building buildings on it. That's my dad. And
Same
one
with golf
time
courses.
I was very ill, and I opened my eyes and I saw my dad just standing at the foot of the bed. So he wasn't even in there like, oh my God, my baby girl. He was just kind of like, and I was like, oh, I must be sick. Because my dad doesn't do hospitals or cemeteries. So I was like, yay, dad, showing some feelings. And he turned around and walked out, right? So
like, she's not dead. All right.
yeah, that's exactly my dad. That is exactly my dad. Okay, she's good. She gonna live because I gotta go.
Cool.
Right. So when do you draw that line?
I mean, you guys see me with my daughter. You know what I mean? I'm very affectionate with my daughter. You know what I mean? I'm not super hardcore. However, with my nephew, I do grab him by the head a few times when he just acts out of pocket. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's just doing too much. Mm-hmm. But there's limits and levels. I mean, we all know what it is. I mean, don't be a try hard. But at the end of the day, me personally, I don't want to see a grown man cry in the fucking street. I don't want to see that shit. I don't want to fucking see that shit. Like, dude, like, go in a corner, go home. Like,
wait a minute. You had a problem with men crying when Kobe died?
I gave a pass.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're not a complete animal. Okay.
Yeah, I gave a pass, but you know what I mean. Like I remember one time before, man. I was in Midtown and I just saw a guy ugly crying in the street. And I was like, oh man, I just couldn't look at.
Maybe his mama died.
Maybe, but it was just like,
yeah. I don't know if there's pretty crying, to be honest with you, but
you know what I mean.
Drop a tear.
Yeah. Like, okay, look, like that's a manly cry, like Denzel Washington in Glory.
That's a hell of a tear.
Yeah,
that's a loaded tear.
But he held his weapon. It's like
so if you cry holding a weapon, it's a little bit better.
But Jim, what are you getting at? I don't know what you mean by drawing a line between what and what.
Oh,
I'm
Like, where do you
asking
show
what
emotion?
is when is it too much emotion? Like No Saint said, hey, hugs are good, you need hugs, right? Like when is it when is a man being too emotional or too bitchy? Where do you draw the line?
The line is when you're no longer able to think critically, I think. Because I think there's a tipping point where
Mhm.
emotions can rise up to a certain point, and then there's that tipping point where it drops over, where you're no longer thinking clearly and you're making rash decisions. It starts altering your behavior, and I think that's when it becomes critical. Because for men to be dependable and predictable and reliable, you have to be mostly consistent,
Yes.
and it freaks people out when they look at men who are not consistent,
Right.
and
ooh.
they're losing control, right? And this
Yes.
actually happened to one of my clients recently, and he snapped. He lost control in front of his wife, and it freaked her the hell out, and she left. And I was like, I told you to get your shit under control, and he didn't. He had a moment of momentary lapse of reason, as Pink Floyd would say. And she packed a bag and bugged out. I'm like, you just put your foot in it big time, sir. And that's what happens when men lose control. People freak out.
Well, it's funny he says that because all that testosterone we're talking about, men lose their logical sense.
But it looks
and they're
different
being
though.
driven by their testosterone, their high
That-
testosterone.
No, they're not being driven by their testosterone. There's a rise in estrogen. So the more body fat you have, the more.
Well, I'm just talking about
testosterone's
sexual
converted.
drive, though. We make illogical decisions all the time trying to go after a woman. I mean,
Right,
all the
Well,
time.
that's I would say more psychological. But like these guys, with the sedentary lifestyles, you're gaining more body fat.
Yeah.
They're having more conversion. More of their testosterone that's naturally in their body is converting more. So the more body fat you have, the more of this. What's the term called, Haran? Where the conversion. But anyways,
Well, you talking about estrogen conversion?
yeah, but so there's more of this conversion. So and so the more body fat you have, the more estrogen your body's going to produce, and therefore, when you have more estrogen as a man, you become moodier, you snap more.
That's where the titties come from. That's where the moves.
Right, and then that causes more body. It causes more body fat accumulation, so it becomes this vicious cycle, and it gets worse and worse and worse.
See, people like that, the first thing that will happen to you if you get your testosterone under control and your estrogen under control, well, the first thing that's going to happen to you is that you're not only going to lose body fat, but you're also going to lose water. You know what I mean? Because estrogen, a lot of that, what it does is you retain water. You know what I mean? Ladies, that's why, when you're going through your cycle and so on, and you feel puffy and bloated and so on and so forth, it's basically your estrogen just doing what it does. You know what I mean?
You know
YouTube,
what?
YouTube press. I ain't got no beef with Tate. You said I was ragging on Tate. I ain't got no beef with Tate.
Probably just saw a title.
Right. Yeah.
He's
Tate's
not a dating coach.
No, he's not.
You got to dap first.
Yeah. Thank you for the super chat. This might be risky, says. 1, if you hug, you got to dap first. 2, men don't cry from physical pain. That is true. 3, men who are emotional pop you over sneakers. Gotta cap our emotions. 4, dope show. Thank you. Salute to you, Sue. Thank you for supporting and your comments. I have to agree with that because the only time I've seen men cry was something emotional that affect them. I've never seen a man cry over an injury. Although you went to you was military, right?
Mhm.
No,
Yeah.
Saint. So you probably see men cry pain. I mean, I think if a limb is gone, he's allowed to cry, right, Haran?
Just real quick.
Actually,
my friend posted a video today when he lost his limb. The moment he lost his limb, and I noticed he wasn't crying in that video.
Shock.
He actually 2 limbs. He lost both of his legs at the same time.
Had to be shock.
And
there's too much adrenaline at that point for crying.
Yeah.
But the word is called aromatization. It aromatizes.
Oh yes, aromatization. Okay. I know. All right. Another thing too is that when guys go to jail, man, and sometimes when I'm on the phone with these dudes, man, and they know they're not ever coming home again. You can hear the brokenness in their voice. They're trying to hide it, you know what I mean? But you can hear it. You
That's
just
the reason
know.
to cry.
Yeah, you just know if in those circumstances, if you like 30 or 40 years old and they just hit you with 30 or 40 years, like, yo, dog, if you just broke down on the phone, I I don't blame you. You know what I mean? Because you're most likely gonna do it in your cell anyway. You know what I mean? But under those circumstances, under extreme circumstances, now this is not a how-to thing. Okay, I'm not sitting here and be like, you're not a real man if you don't. It's just me, man. You know, I grew up in a culture, Jamaican culture
I
is
was just
very
about to
hyper
say.
masculine. You know what I mean? I grew up in a certain culture where I've never seen my father cry.
Mm.
I've never seen any of the men in my family cry.
Yeah, I've
So
never seen my dad cry either.
You
I've
know,
never seen my dad cry.
you know what I mean? I've never seen my father cry. I've
If
never
he
seen my
did, he
father
didn't do it in
wince
front of us.
pain. I've never seen my father wince in pain. Okay, like these are the
But
real.
see, you just touched on something really good though. But like, because I think this question would look different to a Caribbean man versus a Black American man versus a white man versus someone else. So I think that there's something there as well. Like you said, there's no one way to do it.
Yeah.
I saw my dad sew his palm shut one time, and I was like, not fucking with that guy.
No, it's definitely my grandfather was definitely not emotional, or didn't say I love you, and my father was kind of the same way. I'm not, but listen, I just want to say that, because I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's part of being human. But it says here, hugs ward off illnesses, hugs release oxytocin, hugs make you feel like everything will be okay, hugs cut down on stress.
Well, that's touch, right? In general, humans need touch.
Mm-hmm.
I can do all that without hugs.
What I was gonna say too. This is
when we get to Vegas, everybody line up and hug No Saint.
Right. You know what I was thinking too. Like, this is another thing that had me kind of feeling like something's going on, because a lot of these men, I'm gonna just tell y'all, they remind me of when men transition to be a woman.
Wait a minute, you got some intel, Lily? Let's hear it.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, because when you have to get put on estrogen, there's side effects from that. And those side effects are what we're seeing with a lot of these young men.
Even though those men aren't transitioning.
Exactly. And that's what they're starting to remind me of. Yeah.
Well, look, Jen, listen. You tell nature what to do a lot of times, or nature will do what it needs to do if it sees that you are useful in a particular area. Nature is very efficient. If you're not out here moving anything, if you're not out here doing whatever, your body's gonna fucking atrophy. You know what I mean? Your body's going to respond in that way. You're not going to pump out. You know what I mean? Well, look at this. This is scientifically proven. A man's testosterone usually drops when he gets married and he has children, particularly when he has children. You know what I mean? Because the idea being that you have to be nurturing with the baby, blah, blah, blah. You can't be a fucking maniac with this fucking kid. You might kill it. You know what I mean?
You may kill it.
You know what I mean? No, seriously.
Don't kill the babies.
But your testosterone leaps when you become divorced.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blackity black. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity black, black, y'all. What's up, Kari?
What's popping?
What's popping, Kari?
What you drinking on, Kari?
Oh, no, it's a
Tonight
party.
I'm sipping on some wine. Smoking a blunt. I wore the crown because today is my birthday. It's my 46th.
Happy birthday!
Around the sun,
Happy birthday!
Appreciate it.
Kari's birthday is before mine.
Yo, Kari, mine was
tomorrow?
yesterday.
Yeah, my birthday tomorrow, man.
Happy birthday!
And mine was,
is that
and
the
mine was
Leos?
yesterday.
The Leos are in the building. Oh
The
my
Leos.
God!
Yes.
Look at this.
All these
Consecutive
Leos.
That's what's up.
Holy shit!
Uh-huh.
Well, happy
Surrounded
birthday!
Surrounded by all this fire.
There you go. So there's a hell of a lot of TRT on the panel tonight.
Because them Leos. Can't help it.
I mean, okay, so I'm taking it. All the men on the panel have watched a host of dating coaches tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you, Satan. Did you walk away? Did you use anything? Did you use any advice? Did it make you a better ladies' man? Did a light bulb go up on over your head like, oh, I should do that because that guy, what he said sounds good? Have you ever taken any of the information? Do you feel like it's information overload and, a lot of these guys aren't qualified? What do you think about the dating coaches of today and how many are popping up? Because I can't scroll without seeing a guy, in a dim room looking to the side with a neon light behind him telling you what you should be as a man. So how do you guys feel about that?
So are we calling people like Kevin Samuels dating coach?
Yeah.
Would he be like a dating coach?
Yeah.
Pretty much anybody that's trying to give people advice on
pretty much
their relationships.
Pretty much.
I don't really watch it to try to learn anything. I watch it just to see what people's opinions are, really. But every now and then I see somebody say something and I'm like, that makes sense. And it's usually not really like dating. It's just on how to maybe treat people in general. I saw this one guy who was talking about how to have a hard conversation, and that could be with a person in a relationship. It could be your job, something like that. That's like the advice I take. I don't really take the advice that says, hey, don't mess with these type of women because it's like this and this and this, but that's just me personally.
With Kevin, one of the things I heard a few things from him in terms of life and how to approach it that were pretty good. Well, the one thing I don't hear with any of these dating coaches, I just don't hear any. I hear no advice in regards to nutrition. So again, coming back to the testosterone argument, I don't hear any advice about nutrition. I don't hear any advice about there's go to the gym. Yeah, well, go to the gym and do what? These guys don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you have a routine for them? You know what I mean? So
I hear that a lot. I hear that. Just go to the gym. I hear that a lot.
Yeah, it's like just go to the gym. Yeah, and go to the gym to do what? You know what I mean? If you're going to open your mouth and say that, well, you be prepared to explain to people how to actually build your body and how you need to eat and so on. The main thing, personally, overall, I think that all men should concentrate on their health, their wellness, their mental well-being before they really sit here and thinking about women or anything else. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these guys out here, they're susceptible to getting involved in these situations that A, they're not prepared for, B, they are basically marks in, and they're just in these situations because they have not prepared themselves as men, as human beings, so I don't hear that kind of advice in many of these, from many of these guys. So that's my take on that.
What about Saint? Have you learned anything? Did it up your game? Did it make you better?
No, and no. The problem I have is listen, even before YouTube dating coaches, you'd have a friend or something telling you this is what you need to do. But I found it very hard to take certain advice only because the things they were telling me wasn't in my personality. This is how you have to talk. This is what you get. And I was just like, but that's not me. I can't pull it off. I'm not a good enough actor to pull it off.
Great point.
Not saying that they don't have some points, like if you were talking about these go work out, let what Haran's saying things. Yeah, I mean, of course, those are good things. You should always, exercise is not a bad thing. But yeah, when it comes to trying to tell someone, or this is how, because it worked for them, doesn't mean it's going to work when someone else is trying to do it. And it's just really not in their toolkit, I guess.
It sounds like they're trying to give you a personality that's not yours.
Right.
They're trying to create clones of themselves. That's what it sounds like.
If you had to guess the ratio of success stories, right? When we think back to the self-help gurus like Anthony Robbins, right? People say that, he's on stage, he's doing what he's doing, he's saying what he's saying, and then there are hundreds of people in the audience. But if those people had the self-determinism that he had, they wouldn't need an Anthony Robbins. How many people do you think Anthony Robbins has made successful? Similarly, how many men do you think these dating coaches, these quote-unquote dating coaches, who all they have is, most of them, the majority just have a webcam, right? They don't study human psychology, they don't study stats, and if they do, they're very surface, like, oh, look, 80% of women fall for divorce. They're for the streets and the masculine.
Oh, it's worse.
Yeah,
They're
that's what
not.
I
They're
hear a
not
lot.
living what they're saying.
Oh,
That's the big difference.
Right.
See, what I have a problem with is there's a big confusion between a content creator and a coach. Okay,
right.
a coach produces content in order to draw into business for himself. Okay, a content creator just is out here creating content. All right, I would not say Kevin Samuels was a dating coach. He was a content creator. F&F are not dating coaches. They're content creators. Okay, they're in it for something else. They're not in it to. They might say they're there to help, but really they're just there.
So you
to
don't
get
think
money.
Kevin Samuels was trying to help the Black community and Black love and Black marriage?
No, not at all.
Oh,
But see,
No.
okay, but even with that being said, Justin, like a lot of these young men still mistake them as
Well, yeah,
dating
but
coaches.
that's their inability to discern because they haven't really experienced a coach.
And
Because
not having
think about
daddies.
what does a coach do, right? A coach it fosters and encourages and exposes someone to bettering their skills and personal development through certain routines and getting them to see certain aspects of themselves. Now, this can't actually happen over a wide audience. It's impossible, which is
'Cause
why
he's-
Tony Robbins is so famous, because he knows how to make people feel like risen up, and they come out of the performances and they're like, yes. And then that slowly dwindles down and they go back to the regular life. And probably only a very small percentage of those thousands of people who are in the audience actually do something with their lives to actually create change. So, because real coaching requires one-on-one time, it can't be done through YouTube. It just can't, because there's too many factors involved. Like I've said many times before, I go all the way back to my client's childhood. And we
I was just
start
about to say,
picking
because you
apart
got the trauma.
behaviors, programming,
Yeah.
conditioning, beliefs, values, all sorts of stuff. And we come into personalizing what their game is, and it's really completely subjective. So I only know a few like actual coaches, and there's a shit ton of just content creators who may or may not call themselves coaches.
It's so funny he mentions Tony Robbins. It's the same thing that all multi-level marketing groups do. They make you feel like you can do, and it's cultish. It's very cult. Same thing religion does. They make you feel like you're in a group and everybody against them. You got to get rid of those people. And you got the one guy up there saying you're not trying hard enough, and everybody feels great going outside and they're chanting, and then they can't sell soap. It doesn't work.
David Goggins is my dude, man. Like David Goggins, he essentially, I think he worked out for like 3 months, lost 100 pounds to become a Navy SEAL. And
that's a stretch.
That dude. He
went bonkers. If you read his biography, oh my god,
his shit is insane.
He had the worst upbringing ever. So if he didn't do what he did, he probably would have committed suicide already.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And he doesn't have a channel. He's not trying to sell shit. Only thing he does is he has shorts with him fucking running through the fucking hills. You know what I mean?
With like a log on his back.
With a log on his back. Like, this guy's nuts. But the main point he says, essentially his message is shut up and get it done. I respond to shit like that.
I love it.
I respond
do you
to that.
Do you think that's the best way to teach a man to raise up a man? That way, that form, what you just said.
Me personally, I can say for me, yes. Shut up and get it done. Because at the end of the day, I came up in a world where it was shut up and get it done. I came up in a world where it was the 80s and the 90s. It was like, because nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck.
But what about somebody like No Saint? Can we shut up and get it done him?
No Saint, respectfully.
Yes, of course.
Respectfully, well, I guess we'd have to hug him first.
Yeah, a hug first.
Well, Haran, the big difference is the person hearing that has to actually really want it.
Absolutely.
Right? I've brought so many people to water and I've dunked their face in the pool and said, drink, get it done. And they're like, no, you can't make me. And I'm like, okay, fine. Like, enjoy your shit sandwich.
Ish, I don't know what you're saying no to, so I dropped a link if you want to come up. I don't know what no means.
And you know me,
I love
No to the hugs, maybe.
I love the shut up and get it done method.
I mean, that's the shit I respond to.
And that's how I was like. I tell people, if you got to do it kicking and screaming and holler, like whatever, I don't give a fuck. Just do it. Like,
I mean, there's a time to
just do
say
it.
shut up and get it done, you know.
What's that time, No Saint?
Well, I'm
What's that
talking
time?
to the ladies, but I mean,
Excuse me?
What you say?
I said I'm talking when you're talking to the ladies. Shut up and get it done.
When I,
You know
when
we're
I
gonna
was
be
a
in
kid-
person, right?
you know we're gonna be in person on
You know
Wednesday,
we're gonna be
right?
in person, right?
Oh my god! No,
when I
I'm
was a
saying-
kid, when I was a kid, I used to ask my dad to help me do things. My dad worked the night shift, so he was always like, later, I'm sleeping, later. And I only asked but so many times before I just figured it out myself, you know? And after but 1 or 2 times asking, after a couple of times, I just started doing things myself, you know? And that's kind of, I guess, my shut up and get it done, you know? My dad didn't have the time to help me. He was too tired. He was sleeping, whatever. Went and got it done myself.
As a man, at the end of the day, you are your resume. You are your accomplishments. That's how people will measure you. Did you get it done? Did you do it? Oh, you didn't do it? All right, next. That's it.
Kyrie, come to Vegas. We'll do stuff with you.
Well, but at the same time, Heron, there's
and
a
No
layer
Saint
to
got
that.
a hug for you.
Right.
At the same time, there's a
Hey,
layer
hugs
to
aren't
that that's
bad.
really that's really destructive, because when a guy becomes completely reliant on his external achievements to feel good about himself, he ultimately becomes weak, because if any of that is tampered with, destroyed, or he loses it, then he loses his sense of self. Right?
Okay,
He becomes reliant on these things.
What you're saying in that regard.
Yeah. Like,
You know?
so what's not being taught is a reliance on self to feel better about themselves, which is why, you know, kind of circle back into the broader conversation, is this this angling towards women, because in them is this desire, they have this need to have that verification from women that they're okay, that they're acceptable, that they're good enough. And if all of that was done without their presence, then they wouldn't need it. There would be no anger whatsoever. It's like, oh, you don't want to talk to me? That doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't matter at all. But because it matters, clearly, I mean, there's so much anger, there's so much pain around it, of just not being noticed by women, not being like being recognized to have their problems and their feelings and all this crap. It's a clear indication that they're seeking that from them, right? And I heard this one guy say, you know, it's a cold world out there. And I said, yeah, it's only cold when you're seeking warmth from it. If you don't, right? If you don't seek warmth from the world, it doesn't feel cold. It just is what it is.
It is what the fuck it is. Exactly.
Killmonger, bitch. Burn the city in the ad so I can feel warm. Killmonger, bitch.
I guess I was seeing it from my perspective. I'm hearing what you're saying, but from my perspective, I see more of it as I see a lot of people walking around with this sense of entitlement when they've actually done nothing.
Man.
They've done fucking nothing. They just want it. It's just like, nah, that's not how it works.
Sure.
Isn't that weird though? Isn't that entitlement comes from the success of other generations, and that's what's crazy about it. The other generations have built it and are entitled to it in a sense, but the younger generations that come after them are the ones that feel entitled.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's how the Roman Empire fell. Remember?
Right.
Like,
right.
what's his name?
Nero?
Commodus? Was it Commodus? Okay. Yeah. So Marcus Aurelius, he was like raised through the military. Like like his father put him through the military. That was his childhood and teen and a young adult, everything. And then he created the Roman Empire. And then his son, who was born with a golden spoon in his mouth, basically destroyed it because he didn't have that work ethic. He didn't have the drive. Everything was created for him. There was nowhere to go.
And so there was no connection to the accomplishment, though. Yeah, absolutely no awareness or connection to the accomplishment.
Exactly.
Well, that's why trust fund babies go broke, because they have no connection to the struggle and what it took to earn that. Whatever. Right. They just easy come, easy go is a real thing, right? Like I've gotten money the easy way and it literally just goes right through my hands versus I got a job. I remember when I was working minimum wage and I was somehow managed to like pay my bills and have a little bit of money out. I'm like, how in the world? But if someone gave me $10,000, it's gone within 24 hours. So that's what it is.
Yeah. Back in the
Yeah,
days when I was making G's a day, I was buying gold chains that I didn't need. You know, 'cause I knew the next day I'm gonna get a G, you know?
Right.
Well,
exactly.
Lily, what you're saying is so true. It's like I lost $1,000 in cryptocurrency of stimulus money. I would have never spent $1,000 of my own money.
And it didn't hurt as bad either when you lost the
No,
stimulus money. But that five truck money hit a little different.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a smart gambler, though. You know what I mean? You only gamble with what you can afford to lose.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So, Ish, welcome, brother Ish, to the panel. How are you, sir? You said no with exclamation points in the chat. What are you ready to debate? And then I have a question for the panel after. And Ish is frozen. All right.
Yeah, it's frozen.
I don't know if it's true. I thought he was just looking mad.
Right. I'm like, did we say something that didn't sit well with him?
He wasn't cracking a smile or nothing.
Ish is frozen. So let me ask a question while Ish unfreezes. So here's my question, right? And it's gonna be a hard question for people listening or for them to accept. Isn't it just when we look at a Tony Robbins, what's his name, David Goggins, whoever it is, right? All these dating coaches that are popping up online. Isn't it safe to say that, look, regarding human beings, the majority are cattle. And it's very, very, very rare that one of them is going to stray and lead any fucking thing. When we look at the history of time, all those generals, those leaders of war, those abolitionists, those rebels, like they didn't come in packs. They came once every 10 years and led an army of people. So is it realistic that all these guys are going to be online and these dating coaches are going to turn them into men and what have you? Isn't it just, look, you're part of the cattle. No, you can't get that woman. No, you can't get that car. No matter how long I talk to you, you just cannot. Isn't that a fucking just reality? Everybody can't come.
I mean, it's the 80-20, the Pareto principle. You know, only 20% of we would just say only 20% of the men produce 80% of the results or get 80% of the women or, you know, push society to the point where it grows and grows. But I would say this, and I've said it before, a lot of times I don't think people are afraid to fight. I think people are just afraid to get hurt. Most people are just afraid to feel pain. So they won't go through the fight. They won't go through that. When you understand that you will feel pain, when you understand that you will feel misery, when you understand that there is a travel, there is a journey involved, you know, wherever you need to go, and you are good with that, then I believe that one is ready to really take the path.
So is that like the MGTOWs, the men that are not even going to try
to
be with women?
Yeah, those are quitters. I mean, anybody, like men going their own way, that sounds fucking stupid. You know what I mean? You know, going their own way. Where, like, look, I've had my fair share of issues with women. Okay, I've been through the ups and downs and so on. Never in my life have I ever said I'm going to disconnect from women and I'm going to find my own way.
There's only one other gender if you want to do that.
I've walked away to the terms of like, okay, I'm swearing off women for like a couple of months or a year. I got to go get my shit fucking done. You know what I mean, and so on. But to sit here and be like, they don't understand me and all this other emotional shit. No, I can't even.
But even when that happened, Haran, and anybody can answer this in the chat or on the panel. Even when that happened, did you take accountability? Like, I have to leave these women alone because I'm the one that's partaking in the fuckery, or I'm not at 100%.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I'm over here sitting here drunk, laying up. I got this broad in here, you know what I mean? I'm spending up my money and you know what I mean? You know, being a reckless fucking fuck. Like, you know what I mean? And And my main thing is that she looks amazing. She's got a fat ass. You know what I mean? I'm just being a fucking idiot. Like, okay, I gotta go be an adult, man. Yeah, you know what I mean? I gotta go be an adult. I gotta go do things, you know what I mean, that will make sure that I have some sense of a legacy going forward. I can't act like life is a fucking frat party.
Okay. Brother Ish, you said no with exclamation points in the chat. What are you prepared to debate, sir? Because I don't know what the no was for. I didn't know what the no was for.
The no is just, the shut up and get it done kind of energy. There's a
Oh, you're
there's
saying
a balance.
that's not good for men.
No, I'm saying that that's not the end all to be all. It's not a one trick pony. You can't just grab somebody. I mean, because as much as you can say, okay, this was done in the Navy SEALs and the Army and the Marines and police academies and whatsoever. There's hundreds to thousands of individuals that just fall out of that equation. And it's not necessarily that, okay, we're separating the wheat from the tare, and this is the the strong, and these are the weak ones. But it's if you're actually trying to do true manhood development, you have to go through the layers of who this individual really is and deal with it on that plane.
So I got a little pushback. With that said, right, because all men are different. How in Ilva, the military specifically has proved that men could come from all over the world and be on one accord and come out real badass at the other side of that training. The Marines, the Army, the Navy, they don't like, how would you like to be spoken to? No, everybody's in fucking uniform. Everybody's on point. You dress like this, you do that. So what do you say to that? They're not coddling men. They're making men. They're making soldiers. They're making the military. They're not like, do you like this decibel of yelling or this decibel, John?
No, well, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's tailor made in that manner. But what I am saying is that, and they've adjusted their nuances based upon the time and conditions. But if you look at like the Navy SEALs, every military institution has a training system based upon what they believe their necessity is. So Navy SEALs are training you on the level of how they want to determine you through your extremities. Not so when you go through exhaustion, how are you going to respond? When you're going through hypothermia, how do you respond? When you're going through, about to drown, how do you respond? So because those are the conditions that they place their soldiers in. And so they want to get a determination of how put you through that experience, how you react to that experience, and then are you still useful to go forward? So that's the purpose of their training system. With the Marines, it's lessened, and that's why the Navy SEALs falls in kind of the top tier. But again, it just depends on the military institution in relationship to that. But nonetheless, like the traditional Navy is a much more intellectual military group. So they deal with technology because you're on a ship and they deal on that level versus, the Army is like, can you just survive in the wilderness and use your wits? And
so I know, you're veering off.
I know what you're saying, Jen.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Jen.
You're veering off. Do you know what I'm saying?
Jen, hang on, let me just clear up so this doesn't go way off, because I know what you're saying, but Jen wasn't getting at that. On a very basic level, you could look at all the military institutions and they take all these random guys and they get them to listen and do the thing and not cry about it, not get their emotions about it. They just listen and act and respond in whatever way that individual, the Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, doesn't matter. They still just do it. So on the basic fundamental level, they're all relatively the same. Okay. Until you get into the nitty gritty, then they all kind of deviate. And to that, I would say, yes, that's possible. But Jen, that's on a very basic level. That doesn't have anything to do with interpersonal relationships. Okay. That just is, okay, there's an objective. I know how to clear away my feelings and get something done. And that's great. I think that's something that all men should be able to do, but that won't lead you to being able to deal with women in a good way. That won't lead you to running a relationship or a marriage in a good way.
right? Because there's
I mean,
tons of military
But
guys who
isn't
have
there a
failed
but
better
doesn't the
relationships.
basic? I was just about to say,
Right.
but doesn't it lead to like better men? Basic,
Yes.
just basic, just
Hey,
starting there.
I'm with Israel and tons of other countries that have mandatory military service. I think the U.S. should do the
I
same.
agree with that too.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
this is what I want to add something. So what it is, the military has a system that the recruits that are coming in buy into. And if you don't buy into it, you're not going to be there. They're going to get you out of there. So
Right.
there's
That's my point.
goals. Yeah, there's goals that people in the military that are joining have, and they know that to get to those goals, they got to go through this training, and they've got to buy into the hierarchy and listen. Otherwise, you're going to lose all those opportunities. You're going to lose. If you get dishonorably discharged, it's not good. But for what Ish is saying, so you have the basic military people, and then you have the special forces. Well, not everybody in basic is cut out for the special forces. The special forces is a different breed, right? So there's different sections of that. But yeah, absolutely. I think that going through the military makes you can make you a better person.
I think it's better than listening. I think it's better than listening to dating coaches. Let me tell you, if I had a choice, I've dealt with emotional men and men that were stoic, like my dad. I better relationship with the guy that wasn't touched or mushy, right?
Because I feel like I'm in a lesbian relationship. I feel like I'm in a lesbian relationship. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, let me consolidate my thought a little bit more clearly. The military gives you a disciplined mind. And any institution that gives you a disciplined mind breeds success for men, because men are better when they have been developed and disciplined. And that's really what you're getting from it. It doesn't necessarily guarantee that you'll be a successful partner, great businessman, or anything else, because then that dives into a more individual basis. But on the base level, even sports can give you a disciplined mind. Even the disciplines of musicianship, and entertainment, in certain aspects give you a disciplined mind. So really the key aspect that you're talking about is having a disciplined mind versus an undisciplined, irrational, emotionally based mind.
Yeah.
Individual.
And this is
they can be disciplined about one thing and irrational about something totally different. They can be disciplined and focused on only that one specific thing that they was trained to be disciplined and focused on, and totally not focused on anything outside of that.
I mean, but we, Kari, yes, we see that with the dating coaches, right? Where these men watch these guys for 2-3 hours, and the only thing they left with, she can't have a high body count, she can't be masculine, she has to learn to submit, and that's their only 3 takeaways. That's it.
And to their point, that's what I mentioned before. That's not coaching, right? Because coaching is about skill development, self-awareness, growth, right? And they're not teaching that. They're just saying, watch out for that. Watch out for that. This is what you should want. This is what she should be like. And it has nothing, has nothing to do with the individual who's listening, right? Because in order to actually coach them, they have to bring them in one-on-one. And to the emotion thing, that's something I hammer my guys with week after week is fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. They like in a man's life, they serve really no purpose to getting any. I ask these guys, I'm like, listen, your emotions, how have they helped you? Tell me 3 problems in your life that come up where your feelings are going to navigate you through them or lead you to the correct answer. And they don't know the answer.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Justin. I'm gonna put you in the hot seat real quick. I see E Black and Chef Shavino backstage. What up, family? Another birthday. We have, oh my God, we got like 4 Leo birthdays up here.
Yeah, it's a lion's den.
Right.
Whose birthday? Is both of their birthdays? Whose birthdays?
Chef, your birthday, Kyrie's birthday, Mr. Justin's birthday, and Haran's birthday back to back to back. What is this?
Right, Leo madness.
Happy birthday.
So who's the Lion King?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to. Good to see you. Y'all still in Vegas?
Absolutely.
But when y'all leaving?
Never.
Let me find out.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me find out you saw some things over there you like.
I saw some greenbacks that I like, but But Jen, I don't mean to disrupt your show, but remember we talked about something. I have an offer on the table.
It better be my offer.
The offer, okay. Do you mind about this?
Say again.
Do you mind talking about this?
This ain't
Let's
really
talk
the
about it behind the
stream.
scenes.
Like,
Let's
yeah,
talk about it
we
behind
can
the
talk
scenes.
about it behind the scenes for sure.
Get on
Okay,
the
but
back
this,
end.
I just want to let you know that we have an offer on the table. You're gonna love it.
Okay.
You're gonna love it. All right.
All right.
He
Respect.
turned into like real businessman voice at the end right there, right?
He's about these negotiations.
Yes.
Well, you know, as a backdoor manager, I like to say Jen likes it when you sprinkle money on top.
We got the bag, man. Hey, we got the bag.
Right, there you go.
Okay. Because let me say, because you know let me say, E, if you're still watching, the horse is out the gate, man. And you know what I got to do to stop the horse and put him back in the gate? You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of maneuvering. So, Mr. Justin, I do want to put
Yeah.
you on the spot really quickly.
No.
I know you've seen them. We've all seen them. What makes you different? Your coaching, you're a dom coach specifically. You're not a dating coach. You're a dom coach specifically. What makes you different than all these guys that are giving advice and to try to build these men up better to deal with women better? What's the difference between you and them that you see and that you know for sure?
Well, I was dating coach for a while, and then I switched. But a huge difference is that I don't focus on women. I noticed that the guys that I roll with who are actually coaches, they don't talk about women. They talk about them in a way to educate, but it's never in a negative light. And never. But it's also not in a positive light. It's just like, hey, this is what women do. But also the coaches that I speak with, they talk about the experiences of women that most guys don't get to see, because that's all these quote unquote coaches and these like, you know, red pill content creators, they talk about only what they can see, which is really just like the tip of the iceberg, which is just the socially acceptable stuff or the negative stuff, the things that they can look at, see, and complain about. But the whole iceberg underneath the water is where only men who have no problems with women can see. And that's what the coaches that I associate with can talk about, because they have that experience. And guys are like, no way, are you kidding me? And I'm like showing DMs, like, you know, they're playing voice messages of the women. And they're like, how is that possible that women are talking to you this way, responding to you this way? And it's like, yeah, those are receipts. This is how women, this is the capacity of women. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. And it's like, yes. And that same woman will treat you like an asshole because she can, you know? And so really the big difference is that if you go on a channel and you see guys talking about like really just like crappy stuff about women, it just shows that they haven't seen the other sides, which means they have no experience and they have trouble with women, because that's all they can talk about. If they didn't, they'd be talking about some other shit, wouldn't they?
Yes,
right?
they would. I mean, I said the other day, if not for women, a lot of these guys wouldn't have content.
Right.
They wouldn't have content without complaining about women. I love what you said, because it's so important. Like even my close friends or relatives, when I try to tweak what they do, right? I don't like building men. Okay. But as a woman, I like to be a compliment and tweak what they do. Right. And I always tell them, look, you may see it as nagging, you may be annoyed by it, but it's for you. It's not for me.
Right.
When you move forward, you're going to learn whatever it is. And I'm just throwing things out there. Like, now you know how to wipe your ass. Now you know how to clean your fingernails. Now you know how to cut the meat this way. Now you know how to preserve this way. Now you know how to dress this way or match this color. That's for you. It's not for me. I get nothing from it other than the satisfaction that I made something better. Like I touched something and I made it better. That's my satisfaction. But the benefit is yours. It's not mine. Right. So I love that. I love that you said concentrate on you. Like women are secondary to manhood, in my opinion. Like women are secondary. You still have to be hecho y derecho on your own. And then women are a bonus. But I think the problem with a lot of men is that they have the mentality of like, no, I got to find a woman to help me build.
Right.
to make
Or as like
life
a means of like making themselves feel better about themselves. Right. You
A
see the
symbol
guys
of success.
arguing and they're like, oh, you can't get any bitches. I got all these bitches. Like, so they use women as a means of boosting their own self-image,
Yep.
which means it's already weak. Right.
It's a symbol of success. Like, and they get the woman, they don't know what to do with her. They're like, okay, I got this hot girl, and now what? You
It's a
know?
symbol of success, and they also self-medicate with women because
Oh,
they think
yes.
if they can enter a body and it's warm and wet, they accomplish something. No, you're still broke or emotionally unavailable or terrible in bed, or your money's still not right even after you laid that woman down. But I think that a woman serves a lot as a buffer or as a drug. Like, well, look, somebody's fucking me, so I can't be that bad. No, you can still be that bad, and somebody can still give it up to you, sir. And I think that's something that they miss.
But do you think before social media that men were more realistic about what they were able to what their pool really looked like? Did they become more delusional with the advent of social media and these dating coaches?
It's all connected with their emotions and how social media is tapping into them and causing decision making. Of course, yeah.
I think
with
so.
Social media, people's been able to find other people that have their same opinions. You know, a lot of these people aren't dating coaches; they're pretty much opinion givers, and the people that are really being sucked into them are people that have the same opinions, and they're looking for somebody to validate their opinions. In my opinion, you know,
Yep.
That makes total sense. Like, it's easy to go into an echo chamber on this thing. So
right. People like to feel validated. They hear somebody talking about something they feel,
and you look at and you see these channels where these content creators are that are being mistaken for coaches, and they draw in. You look at you watch the videos, and they say something trashy in the title about women, and look at the amount of views and watches and saves
because they
and
monetize
shares.
on people's pain and trauma.
Right. So, but that just goes to show like how much of it is out there. Right. And then the guys that I roll with who are, I'm telling you, serious in the game. Like, you have no idea some of the things. And it's funny because the things that some of these guys can do with women just by talking with them. And I've watched it live on air. And the funny thing is that they don't even care. It's just there to just show guys that they're not full of shit. Right. Every once in a while. But their views are so low. Like, we're just talking like in hundreds. You know what I mean?
But that goes
it
for
should
anyone.
be in the thousands.
But that goes for anyone or any channel that is telling truth.
Right.
Yeah, the real. Real is fake and fake is real now, right?
Yeah.
I go back to when we were doing the model coaching. When I was in Atlanta, we were doing the model coaching, and we were doing everything like by the book. Like, well, if you would have followed this way, you had the best chance of getting out there to do something in the industry. No, that's not what they wanted. That is not what they wanted. They like, please, we will pay you more to tell us pretty little lies, right?
Sensationalism.
Right, it's the sensationalism that's really the real thing. People want that. They do not want the truth, and I had to realize that.
Yeah, I've been on shows, right? I've been invited to shows, and I've been on shows, and the podcaster and I would have get along famously before before we go live. We get into this verbal fisticuffs, and then after we're live, we're getting along famously, like, oh, that was funny, blah blah. And then when they cut it up, they'll say things that I didn't say, right? Or they'll painted a like woman gets opinion destroyed, and I'm like, that's not that's not what happened, right?
Right.
Or woman does it, and I'm like, this person gets dragged, and I'm like, what? And that is why
it's like the tabloids you'd see in the drugstore. That
is why I did
when you were a kid.
That is why I did this.
And it's easy to do too. It's easy
that is
to
what
do.
happens. And I'll be looking at it like that. That's not what happened when I was there. Woman gets destroyed. And there was another show where I was talking about like an ex situation, or like I was married, and I'm like, the guy thought that the ring would fix it, right? The guy that wanted to marry me was like, this will fix all the problems we have because it's the ultimate bond, you know what I mean, to get married, right? He thought it would fix it. I thought it was a grenade, right? So when the guy reposted it, he said, she thought the ring would fix it. I was like, who the fuck?
You know, Jen, you know, the
what
first
the
time
fuck are you talking about?
you know, when I experienced that when I was doing makeup for reality TV.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, like I did some shows, some reality shows or whatever for makeup only, right? And you know, I'm seeing these scenes as they're getting shot, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be such a good scene when it airs. Jen, it is just like what you said. It'll air and it'll be completely different. And I'm like, that's not what happened.
Oh,
that is literally not what
you know,
happened.
I've done reality shows. I've done reality shows, and we got the little earpiece in, and the director's
Yes.
like, do this, say that. You know, but it's, and I understand the hustle. I am not
right.
the hustle. I'm just saying that I see the hustle. I see the captions. She thought the ring would fix it, and I'm like, I said he thought the ring. What the fuck is happening? That's not what I said.
But you know, that just goes to show, like, back onto the feminization of men. How much they become feminized because they're being drawn to this kind of drama.
True.
Right? They're like,
that used to be our thing.
Let's see what's cooking on, right? And then they get drawn to these things. Let's watch Kevin Samuels roast another woman, right? And they like get their popcorn and their slippers and like, you know, got their tea and they're holding it with both hands.
With their pinky's gotta be out.
Right? Like, oh, exactly.
I'll tell you what, I didn't watch his full shows, but the clips were entertaining when he was roasting someone.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
Yeah, they were. They were.
When you said that chick was built like a lineman.
No, a lot of his shit was funny. Like if we see it as entertainment.
But men, like how I refer to them, are not going to waste their time with that because it's unproductive. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with your life. You don't know any of these women. You don't know Kevin. You don't live a life where you can even possibly even remotely relate with anything he says. Right?
Yep.
Because you're a man. You're completely detached from all of that crap, right? And you don't live that life, but there's so many guys who do. And not just jumping at like Kevin Samuels. There's tons of stuff like that. You know, the FNF, it's similar sort of formula, and there's tons of them out there. But it just goes to show that like there's so many guys who are in their feelings, who are coming together, basically holding hands, you know, like trying to fight back tears and boners.
Yeah, at the same fucking time.
I know.
At the same fucking time.
Right.
Oh shit.
Because when I look at the people in the comments, the men in the comments, you know, and I'm like, you understand that you couldn't even date this woman. So you can think that she has a high body count. You could think that she's hit the wall. You do understand that you can't date her. So it's a weird reality or delusion that they live in, where it's like they really think they have a dog in the fight. And like you said, these aren't guys that can hang with an Andrew Tate to get off of Kevin. You know what I mean? But they couldn't even hang with Kevin. These aren't the guys that will sit at the table with them and smoke cigars. They're not the guy.
Is the anger that subconsciously they know that they're not that guy and that they'll never be able to get in front of this woman?
Yes, there's a lot of self-hate at the very root of it. There's a lot of self-hate. And when some of it is actualized, it turns into something really destructive. And guys cancel themselves or they lead really destructive lifestyles. If it doesn't go in that direction, then it's like the energy has to go somewhere. So if it's not directed at the self, then it starts spilling out and they can become violent towards other men. They're very hair triggered with their emotions and they become extremely physical very quickly. So there's like no self-control whatsoever. And that's directed to other men, or they'll put it towards women either verbally or physically. And it just goes to show just how weak the minds of men have become. How these males have just never really grown that mental toughness to be able to just deal with anything that comes your way. Anything.
Yeah, because I see them, they they snap really quickly in the comments.
I was just about to say
and I'm like, why are you so
I was just about to say that, Jen, or the ones that come up here. The lack of
they
impulse
they
control.
they become so perturbed. And I'm like, you do know you and I will never meet. We have nothing to do with each other. When I calm down, I'm gonna go do my laundry. But it's funny because yesterday when I was on the E Black show, because they're out here in Vegas and they rented their podcasting or whatever, there was this man who I had got into verbal fisticuffs. This was literally years ago. I'm not kidding. It was years ago. And E Black was like, oh, Jen, I want to clean something up. Remember Victor Freeze? And I was like, yeah, I think he's on Chef's panel or whatever. And he was like, well, he wants to know if he can get his apology. Without a lie, it's a running joke because he's been asking for apology for the past 2 years. He wants me to apologize. So you know what I did? I said, here's your apology. That is how I apologize.
Love it. Yeah.
2 fucking years. I had to be reminded, first of all, who he was and what the fuck I said that he needed an apology for. And it was basically my favorite quote, suck my dick. And he's still not over it. 2 fucking years later.
About it.
Look,
And I'm like, what? This is not real.
I mean,
this
that's
can't
what
be
they have
happening.
therapists for.
And this is the main
Who
thing.
does this? Who thinks about a woman from 2 years ago over a verb? And it's like, and then he said some things to me that were insulting. And I said, so, and then life goes on. And I'm like, you're fucking kidding me right now.
That's like thinking about a woman that's not even your woman.
Right. And but you see, here's the thing. This is one of the main issues that I have. Some of these brothers, when they break up with these women, I get it. You go through your little grieving moment, whatever. But they have to understand that women don't give a fuck, man. Like 9 times out of 10, once it's over, it's over. You got to eat that. You got to move on. You got to do whatever. I know guys who are still holding on to some relationship that they had with someone like 6 or 7 years ago. And I'm like, dude, that chick is at least 10 dicks away from that from the last time she actually even said
you had 10 dicks. Damn.
and two of them happened on the same day.
Right.
You just throwing dicks at us? Be easy. Throwing dicks at us. One.
And if she in Tampa, I might be one.
You might be one of the 10 dicks. So I do want to close.
City, but it's a small city.
Shit. I did want to close on this note. Haran, you and I were talking earlier about these guys, specifically these dating coach fans. And we were talking about this woman who, of course, they love sharing videos like this. First of all, the woman is overweight, not particularly attractive, not hideous. But you're not going to look at her twice if you're in Walmart or whatever, right? So she's going on this whole diatribe like, oh, this is what women have to do to show you they're a good woman. They have to support your dreams. They have to make your favorite meal and always have to. And, men love sharing this. Now, they would never fuck that woman who's saying it. That woman in the video always has little to no options, but they love a good share when women speak like this. And I said, it's always and ever women that look like this. They're usually overweight, not the prettiest in the face, not the most stylish, whatever. And men share it. And I said, this is what happens. I said, you share this video, you get with this woman to be catered to, and then you're in my DMs. And that is life. And that is life. That's
it's also
the reality.
Message that they're really, I think they're really drawn to the message of they, and in the comments, if you see it, it happens a lot. They say, protect this woman.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They love using that line, protect this woman.
Oh, really?
Right? Because this is a woman. Okay, so women are evil, right? They're the evil masterminds of men's lives, and they're just the bane of their existence. So that when one pops up and goes, no, men are good. You should treat them well. You should want to cater to them and be nice to them and take care of them and all this stuff. Then when those kind of pop up amongst all the evil, they're like, oh, there's a good one. Save her from the pits of hell. She must be protected at all costs, right?
Well, protect her by bringing her into your home.
Right. So it kind of like gives them a glimmer of hope almost. And the women are just gaming them. Like the woman who made that video, she's just gaming these guys, right? She just wants more views. And but they're so in their feelings, they can't see past their feelings, right? Which is another problem of dealing with your own emotions as a man. And so they get this woman, and it makes them feel noticed, right? It makes them feel like, oh, someone can see me. Someone sees my pain. Someone understands the struggle of me. And I tell my guys, like, no one gives a shit about you. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel good about it. Just understand no one gives a shit except you. You're the only one who should give a shit.
No Saint, why you all the way out the bottom right?
Yeah,
Come back to us,
back.
No Saint. Come back to us.
Well,
We're almost
listen,
done.
man.
We're almost done.
When it comes to these women, especially with these quote unquote pick-me's, look, listen, you know,
the pick-me's never get picked. If men want women like that, why don't they pick those women?
Well, because at the end of the day, most of these pick-me's are very frumpy. They wear a lot of plaid and paisley and all this other wild
flowers.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They're the I guess you'll do list.
Matronly.
After your knees are rickety, you didn't retire the jersey and the rafters. You look at your options. You're like, yeah, I guess I'll take that one.
Right.
You know what I mean? For some,
your nuts look like this.
Oh no! Oh, good lord!
Now look, listen.
That was like 6 inches. I think that's the wrong 6 inches, Jen.
Right.
That's when men want to settle down. That's when men want to settle down.
That shit hitting her belly button from the back.
Wait 1 second, God damn. No matter the sexual market value,
bruised belly button, like, ow.
No matter the
that's when y'all want to settle down. Fuck that.
No man sits there and says, I want an ugly chick or frumpy chick. You want a bad chick. You know what I mean? Whether you're ugly or not, or so on and so forth, man. You want a bad chick.
Nah, some guys say they want a frumpy chick.
Some guys, well, they
yeah.
Maybe in the house.
Those are
the guys, but those are also the guys that want a dictatorship as well. You know?
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I'll make you bad. I'll make you bad. See, a lot of those same guys, they want women to come ready-made.
You can take a.
They want these women to
shave her down and.
No, they want these women to become ready-made, right? They want them to be fit, friendly, and what's the other F? Right? Feminine. Okay. They want them to be sexy but demure, right? They want them to be hoes but to be nice church girls,
virgins. They want virgin hoes.
Right.
Virgin hoes. Yeah, exactly.
And they want them to be completely what do they call it? Self-accountable. They want the woman to be completely accountable to herself, but also to be led by him, which is a weird conundrum. Okay.
And they want them to go 50-50 and submit.
Right. So
I want to
the thing is though, is if you're a man with a capital M, you've got game, you can make her into your baddie. Okay. Because I'll tell you this, I will take a 6. I don't even rate women by numbers, but most guys understand this, so I'll speak in their language. Mm-hmm. I would take a 6 who's obedient and enthusiastic over a 10 who is not obedient and not enthusiastic.
That is true.
Because you can make that 6 into an 8. Easy.
Right. The problem is like
the 6 though. What's the 6?
But the problem is, Haran, what you said before is that these guys that say protect this woman, she's saying, yeah, yes, girl, yeah, it is what we need, women like this. The problem is that what you said, what you touched on earlier, that those men they're still angry because I'm not talking that way.
Right, exactly.
They want those words from me. That's why they're mad in the comments. Because one thing I didn't see is them saying, what's your app, baby? Where can I find you? What state you live in? I didn't see anybody saying that.
Where's she at? You don't see that.
What's obedient?
Listening to what you tell them to do.
What you say?
What dogs do.
What's a 6? What's a 6?
I don't know. I don't judge women that way. Right. I just chose that
6
because I know a lot of guys.
Is a number that comes between 5 and 7.
There you go. That's what it is.
Thanks, No Saint. You learn something new every day on the block with Jen.
No Saint can get away with that because he's a dad.
So, do all the men want obedient women?
No. No. A lot of guys, check this out. A lot of guys say they do, but they actually don't. They really want a tough mommy.
I personally
really want a tough mommy to tell them what to do.
I don't want a doormat. I don't want a doormat, man.
I want a reasonable woman. I don't want an obedient
woman. I'm gonna get into a fucking argument.
That makes sense. I like that. Reasonable, not obedient. You want somebody,
Right.
you don't want somebody that's gonna be batshit crazy, but
Right.
you guys
Right.
like getting handled. Don't even fucking try it. You
Nah,
guys
yo,
like getting
that's
fucking
what
handled,
I'm-
right? It's
that's what I'm
exciting
saying.
to you. It makes
No,
your
it's
fucking
not.
dick hard.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
it
it's
fucking
not.
does.
No,
I agree
The
with you,
last
Jen.
girl
I'm
that
with you,
tried to
Jen.
go
You
crazy
just
on
got
me,
fucking tingly.
drove her
Don't
car
fucking
into
lie,
my
Corey.
car.
Don't
Yeah,
fucking lie. You just got tingly, all right?
Yeah, I'm
No,
with you, Jen.
she drove her car into my car. I do not want that.
But I bet the sex was amazing, and I bet you didn't stop talking to her after that
Nope.
accident, did you?
I
Nope.
just-
Did you,
I
Kari?
I haven't spoke to her since the second time. she did it.
Liar! You're
Since
a
the second
damn
time.
The second
liar.
one, he said the
Look,
second
see?
time. You didn't caught that.
Yeah, the second time. She did it the second time. I said, nah. I said, ain't no
Kyrie,
more
after
after that. Ain't
y'all
no more
both
after that.
crashed at each other, you just grabbed it and just
Right.
laid
No,
out
she
right
was
right there on the roof.
She was leaving my
Oh,
crib,
no.
and before she left my crib, she decided to crash head on into my car.
Listen,
you love
listen.
Twice.
That Travis dude did not get murdered by Jodi Arias because men don't like crazy, okay? He would have been okay, but men like crazy.
They do. They do. They do. They say one thing, but they
That's
run
what I'm
another.
saying, Jen. They say out here in those big
I
things with
want
the
peace.
vitriol with against
Be my
women and
peace.
stuff. They want the women to be obedient. They're like, oh, I want a submissive woman, but really they don't. They really don't. I think they love women who are bossy and tell them what to do and put them in their place and give them drama and shit that they can play around with. They don't want a smooth sailing. Here's my position. Here's your position. And we get the shit done. They don't. I fucking love obedience. And I love it when there is no obedience shown, because then I can show them where the line is. I can show them what to do. I can say, if you don't like this, then you have the freedom to leave. Right.
So, and with that said, Cash App on the block with Jen. I'll tell you that you're a fucking asshole for an hour. Cash App on the block with Jen. I'll tell you ain't shit for. Can't nobody do it like me, right? Ish? Can't nobody tell Can't nobody tell a man you ain't shit like me. Cash App.
Yes.
Wait,
Oh,
Jen,
Jen,
you can tell
you
it in
should
two.
talk.
You
You-
can tell it
you'd
in two
You'd be a
languages.
great dominator.
Por supuesto, pendejo. Yo te lo digo.
Jen, you make
And
a
then say,
fantastic
now come here,
dominatrix.
Poppy, and it's a wrap.
Right. Exactly.
Just
That's
call
how it
up Jen
works.
and she will berate you and make
I
you
will
feel
ber-
like a less of a man, and you can
I
pay
will
her.
absolutely. Yes.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. And
It's
enjoy it
so
too.
much
actually,
money.
actually, the
Everybody
thought
else
is,
plays.
what the fuck am I doing here? And then about 30 seconds later, you look up and you're like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she did have a fat ass. She did have a fat ass.
Jesus,
Oh
man.
my God.
Jesus,
All right,
man.
listen, guys. To remind everybody, On the Block with Jen will be together in person under the same roof starting Wednesday. We will all be together meeting for the first time ever. We'll get to touch each other and squeeze each other. I said
Hug
On the Block
each
with
other.
Jen.
No.
Hug each. Yeah, we got hugs for you, no Saint. I know those are important. On the Block with Jen at Gmail. If you want to give us suggestions of what to do together, Miss Ruth already says she wants to see us play Twister. Haran, you better not be on protein that week, because if you fart, it's going to be a fucking problem. But we will be outside and indoors. We'll be creating skits for you guys. We got an amazing photo shoot coming that's going to drop your jaws. That's all I'm going to say. Our photo shoot coming up is going to drop your jaws. And that's all we can say. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe, hit like, and keep up with us this whole week. We're going to be together for a week under the same roof. We're bringing the real world On the Block with Jen style this week coming up, starting Wednesday, August 2nd. It's going to be crazy. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming up and being your masculine selves. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We miss y'all in these streets.
Yes.
So please continue to be the men that you are. No cap, because we got too many dudes in skinny jeans. Pause. Okay? We got enough of that. We got enough of that.
Well, my slacks are slim.
Yes,
But
how
they-
slim,
We'll let you.
Kari.
We'll let you
Yeah,
slide.
good.
But
They
but
fit
now
me
people
good.
have that PeeWee Herman look. You know, it's like up above the ankle and the
R.I.P.
jacket.
Pee-wee.
Yeah, what is?
tight,
Oh no,
you know?
yeah, no.
And like
no.
the jackets and like the whole suits are like 2 sizes too small on guys.
Man
Like,
just
who's
died.
your
Come
tailor,
on, man.
What the hell is wrong
They
with
look
you?
like when Tom's zoot suit shrunk. Remember Tom and Jerry? Who had
So
zoot
Yeah.
suits?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes,
And then
yes.
it fit Tom,
Okay.
Jerry.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Tell your age.
It's 2023. It's a different age now. People got a different
is.
stash.
Showing off your ankles.
No,
with
I
that
don't
sock
listen.
on.
I don't mind the fitted look, right? It depends. I don't mind the fitted look, but the
We
Pee
don't
Wee
need to
Herman
be
shit.
showing off a men's ankles. Like and with the
Good
button
point.
like stressing on the jacket when they close it. Like that's not what it's
So-
there for.
Yeah,
Come
no
on.
stressing
I
button.
did-
No stressing button, please.
I did
No.
have on gray slacks. I actually had a performance a couple weeks ago,
Let me
and I had
see.
on the gray slacks.
That's
Did you do your
nice.
spoken word? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's,
but those
that's
aren't
yeah, that's
those
No,
aren't
that's
acceptable.
skinny
dope.
though.
Yeah,
That's dope with the
that
hat
ain't-
and
that ain't-
everything.
Had
But
on
those-
gray
but
slacks.
those aren't
dudes
skinny
dressing up like they
slacks.
sons.
No, that's dope. Long as there's no
Yeah.
spandex in your pants, fellas,
Right.
stay away from anything that's
Yeah,
spandex,
it
please.
wasn't showing my
no
whole silhouette.
lycra. Yeah,
It
no
wasn't showing my
lycra.
silhouette.
No,
Yeah, we don't
lycra,
want to
no
know your blood
spandex.
pressure. We
Let's
do not
fix
want to
the body
know.
type, man.
No rayon.
Yeah,
I'm
we
the
no
emoji
rayon.
for that. I'm the emoji for that.
We do not want to know your blood pressure. Like just
Right.
all
Look, we
big
around.
stop
dude
him.
that be
Hey,
dancing.
hey, Jen,
That-
we stop him
that
at the
big
door
dude
for
that be
the
dancing,
FOI. We were like,
he be wild.
hold on, brother. You got to go home and change with that one. You can't. No, sir. No,
Yeah,
sir.
no,
We,
good.
we got a suit in the back for you, brother. So, no, sir. We don't allow
No.
that with the FOI.
Just
Glad I'm not
no.
the only one getting stopped at the door.
He's so stupid.
I love it.
Wait a
Love
minute.
it.
Wait a minute. Wait.
You're still
Yeah,
CIA. You're still CIA. Y'all ready?
Thought
Unless
we
you-
were gonna
unless
get. I
you were
thought we were gonna go.
Scientology.
Listen, I thought we were gonna get away with it.
I'm going to invite her to Vegas.
Yes. Why
I'll
is
go
she
get her.
coming?
I know where
She's
she
somewhere in
works.
Iowa.
No, she's right down the road.
Oh, you know?
Louisiana.
She works at the plantation.
No
Oh
way.
no! See,
We got
Get her
God damn.
at the
No,
least,
say we
get
about
her to
listen.
cam up.
We about to be in person. No, say be careful. Tread lightly, white man. Tread lightly. Okay.
when we do our live show, we have to have her on stage with us.
I know where I know where the bodies are buried. Let's do one charade. Huh?
Johnny Cochran's not alive anymore. It's going to be kind of hard this time.
All right, let's do one charades before we go. Just one charades. We're gonna be doing this in Vegas. We're gonna do one charade. Who wants to be the one guessing? Chat, do you want to join in on the charades?
Let's test Kari out.
Y'all would
Kari?
test me out, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kari, that means that we're gonna hold up a card. Everyone's gonna see it. And then we're gonna act it out, and you have to guess what it is. Just so you know, the charade games is called "It's a Black Thing." So this ain't regular
it's a black
charades.
thing. It's a black thing.
Yes,
Okay.
it ain't regular charades. So okay, you the birthday boy. So you have to look away. I'm gonna put the card
Take
into
your
the
glasses
screen.
off, man. Take your glasses off.
There you go. He's turning around.
I'll
He's
turn
turning
around.
around.
I'll turn around.
Okay, we'll tell you when to turn back. Hold on. Okay. Let me see if you can get this. All right, don't turn around yet. I'm gonna show everybody. Chat, don't give it away. We got to act this out for Kari, and Kari has to guess it.
Oh, boy.
I got a good one.
You got a good one?
Oh, we can't say anything.
Hold on. In the movies,
You can do.
Come on now.
wait a minute. Isn't that it says? Because some of them you could talk, some of them you can't.
I already know how I'm gonna act mine out then if I can't talk. Hold on. Let me put some pants on real quick.
It says you can talk for the movies, but if you want to make it hard, don't talk. It says you could talk.
Okay,
for the movies.
yeah.
But you
I
can't.
wanna-
You have to be careful not to say
This is easy
any
enough.
word on the
Okay, I
card.
won't say no words, but I do have an
Can't
act
say
that I want to do for this.
Okay,
could all just go
you
like
ready,
this.
Lily?
Be ready in 2 seconds. He can turn around. Hold
Hey,
on.
Jen, can you text? I couldn't see that. Can you text
turn
it to
around?
me
I can
and
turn around?
separately?
Yeah. You're good. You're good, Kari.
Okay,
You didn't
you can
see
turn
it.
around.
Everybody saw it. You can't see
I
it.
don't have my glasses on, so
Okay.
and
Okay.
I'm working
Y'all
from my
ready?
phone. So you can WhatsApp me.
Hold on,
Okay.
because I gotta text.
Can
it.
y'all see? Let's see.
Wait a minute.
Brooklyn, stop it.
Hold on.
Where's my?
Do I get any hints?
I'm about to give it to you. Hold on.
Yeah, we're all gonna give you hints. We're all gonna give you hints. All right, I texted it to you, Ish. Okay.
Okay. You
No,
ready?
we just expect you to guess without.
Okay.
Like, do I get any
You
hints?
ready?
Like, is it a movie or a phrase or something like that?
Oh,
we gotta make it hard, so we're not gonna tell you what it is.
Okay.
You just gotta guess.
okay. You ready?
Lily's gonna give the first clue. Go ahead,
Okay.
Lily.
What the hell? Waiting to exhale. That was it.
Yes.
That was it.
You got it.
I don't guess it and not say, how are you doing this?
You got it. Like, the white men are like, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I've seen it. It was good. That was a good reenactment.
See this? Okay, see, this was gonna be easy. Let's do another one. Who wants to guess next? You know what? No, say I'm putting you in the hot seat.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh,
That
if
was
it's a
my first
movie.
time playing charades.
Okay, turn
And that's
around.
funny
Turn
because
around.
I'm not even a movie person.
Okay, this is it.
Oh.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm bad at that. I'm really bad at movies.
No, say you can turn around.
Great. She's bad. Everybody's been saying, uh-oh. I'm not gonna get this. I have a feeling.
I don't remember.
I think you'll get this. It's pretty popular. Okay, so I'll go first.
Okay.
I'll go first. Ready? Okay.
That's exactly what I was gonna do. Yep, that's exactly.
Love and Basketball.
There you go.
All right.
See, you can play. You can play. No, say there's hope for you yet.
Yes,
right,
yes.
My Uber order downstairs.
All right, we're done. If you want to continue seeing us playing charades, we will be doing it for you guys live starting Wednesday. We're going to be doing all kinds of crazy shit. So please stay tuned. We will get together. Thank you for playing, Kari. Happy motherfucking birthday, sir. So glad that you came out tonight.
Happy birthday, bro.
Happy birthday to all the Leos on the panel tonight.
That's what's up.
Sir.
Absolutely. And this isn't going to be, this is our first get together, but we're going to try to do this annual thing and hopefully it'll grow and more people will pull up. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
No, Saint, you're gonna lose your white card. You might get shades of gray.
All right, brother.
He's been in danger of losing that card for a minute
I'm
now.
glad to see you coming back up once in a while, man. It's nice to see you back here.
And speaking of shades of gray, if anybody wants to learn about BDSM lifestyle, you can hit me up on Instagram.
They can hit you up, huh?
Yes,
They can hit you up.
The Dominance Academy 2 with the numeral 2, not TWO, the Dominance Academy 2. And I can answer any kind of questions you might have.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Love you all. Good night. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. Good night.
Good night.
Chat, thank you for holding me down. Thank you for the super chats. Hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. Come back mañana. We'll have another good one for you. And then I'll play charades with you guys tomorrow. All right, guys. Good night. Be good. If you can't be good, be careful. Get you some dinner. Stop stressing. Go to sleep. Start again tomorrow. Good night.